Hey, Sean here, and in this video I'm going to go over the 5 best colors that you should use on your website. Now, color plays such a huge impact on both usability and also sales. In fact, 85% of all shoppers said that they base their primary reason for purchasing something based on its color. And then on top of that, about 42% of all people who visit websites said that they base their opinion of websites based on the color and design of the site. So as you see, color gives us our opinions and also can make us purchase or not purchase something. So having the right color scheme on your website is critical. And on top of all of those things, color does bring with it certain characteristics or certain feelings. For example, the color blue gives us a feeling of calm or safe, whereas the color yellow gives us a sort of a warning or an alarm. So if you want people to feel a certain way or associate your website or your brand with a certain feeling or characteristics, then you need to be using the right colors for that. And in this video, I'm going to go over just that. So without further ado, we're going to go over those 5 best colors that you should be using on your website. All right, so let's dive into those 5 best colors that you should be using on your website, starting with number 1, which is the color red or a bright color. Now, the color red has been shown to increase the number of times someone will click on a particular button or link, and that's why you should be using this color. Not only that, but it also brings people's attention to particular things. And that should be kind of obvious if you think about it. Color red is used for a lot of different things with regards to warnings. The color red to stop. The color red on fire trucks to warn us, to know that there is approaching danger. It's also used in exit signs and things like that. Things where our attention needs to be focused or something that we need to be able to see and easily identify. So using the color red on particular things on your website, such as buttons like a checkout button on a shopping cart or a button on a form that's really important that you want people to fill out, those are key places that you should be using the color red. Or even just if you want to highlight something that you really want to make sure people take notice of, you should be using the color red for that on your website. So all right, let's move on to number 2, which is the color blue. Now, I'm suggesting the color blue be used on your website because it's associated with a couple things. One, the feeling of trust. And probably no matter what your industry type is, you want people to trust you and trust your company. So using the color blue in some way, in some shade or hue of it, is a good idea. On top of that, blue has been shown to be one of the most popular or one of the most favorite colors of most people. So if you're going to use the color blue, that's more likely people are going to like that color. So therefore, it's a good idea to use the color blue on your website. All right, so moving on to number 3, which is your logo's color. Now, this isn't a particular color here, but looking at your logo, find out what color is most prominent or colors are most prominent in your logo. And you want to use those colors or that color throughout your website. And there's a couple reasons for this. One, it then makes your site match or sort of tie in with your logo. So therefore, what's going to happen is your site's going to look more professional. Also, it's going to seem like your site flows better. The design doesn't seem sporadic or just sort of mishapped or misplaced because the colors match and you have the sort of the same color scheme as your logo. So there you have it. Make sure to try to use your logo colors or logo color scheme in your overall website design scheme. Okay, so moving on to number 4, which is use an industry color that you're in. Now, there are specific colors that kind of go well with specific industries. For example, the color green is usually associated with growth or healthy. So, using the color green with a health industry type website would go really well. Whereas blue also is sort of associated with health and medical. So using blue on a medical website would go well because you're associating those already known characteristic traits of those colors with your company. So if your industry has a particular color, and you should go and seek that out, what colors represent my industry? And if it has a color, you should try to use that on your website. If not, what you can do is try to find a color that's associated with some positive trait that you want to associate your company with, and use that color as your sort of main color in your color scheme on your website. All right, so now moving on to the last one, number 5, which is one of the most important, which is white. Now, you might be asking, why are I suggesting the color white out of all the colors? And honestly, the color white is probably one of the most critical and useful colors that you can use on your website because it can do a couple things for you. One, the color white can create space around things. So therefore, the elements on your site will seem more organized instead of cluttered and sort of on top of each other. Using white space around those elements can make them sort of feel more professional and have that feeling of clean looking, more modern type of design. In addition to that, white can be used to emphasize certain types of elements. By adding more white space around something, you're going to draw more attention to that particular thing and emphasize it more. So you can use that on things that you really want to draw people's attention to. Maybe there's a certain picture that you really want people to see, or a certain headline you really want them to read. Adding more white space between it and the other elements on your site and your design will create more attention and more emphasis. So there you have it. Those are the 5 best colors that I would suggest you use on your website. Now, I'm going to provide a link in the description of this video so you can get a free evaluation, and we'll go through and find out what colors are going to work best for your company and your website. So go ahead and take advantage of that. Click on the link in our description of this video and fill out your information, and we'll get with you and do a free evaluation on that. Also, if you're on YouTube, make sure you click to subscribe to our channel here and click to give us a thumbs up for this video, as well as click the bell icon, which will allow YouTube to notify you whenever we have a new video. So there you have it. Hope that gives you a good idea of the best colors that you should be using on your website.